So how long does it take to fix erectile dysfunction and performance anxiety? So the short answer is a lot less time than you would think, considering how painful this problem is. The longer answer is it really depends on what you do. So in this video, I want to talk to you about one of my first clients who spent a lot of time working with me and never got anywhere. And I want to talk to you about why he didn't heal so that you don't make that mistake. I'm going to talk to you about the fastest any of my clients have ever healed, and what they did. And then I'm going to talk to you about what a reasonable amount of time to expect for you to get better. And then I will give you some tips on how to make that happen as quickly as possible. So if you don't know me, my name's Cam Joyner. I had a really bad case of erectile dysfunction and terrible sexual anxiety, and it tortured me for a very long time. And so I talk about this openly on the internet so that you don't have to struggle with it like I did. Hopefully you're brand new at it and we can get you behind it, get it behind you very quickly. So the very first client that I ever started working with, he was one of my guinea pigs. It was when I first started doing this, and I was still trying to figure out if everything that I'd learned about fixing it for myself was applicable to other guys, because I was really concerned about the number of men that actually have it. So 30 million men in America and 322 million men worldwide. And so it didn't make sense to me why there would be such a bad problem with this. But I started personally to look at it and realize that I think most guys are just dealing with sexual anxiety. That's what I was dealing with. And the more guys I started talking to about, the more I started realizing that was also the case. So so the first guy I started working with, I met with him once a week for over a year, and he never got any better at all. And the reason for that is that he didn't try to have sex even once while we were working together. So this is a good metaphor. If you like swimming and you read books about swimming, and you meet Michael Phelps, and you like dipping your feet in the pool, and you like watching YouTube videos about swimming, but you don't get in the pool and thrash around, you're never gonna know how to swim. So sex, there is definitely a big portion of it that has to be worked through in the bedroom. And I can tell you from personal experience, I wasted almost 5 years of my life by avoiding sex. And I definitely had a much more complex case of erectile dysfunction than most guys that I've worked with, but really than any of them that I've worked with. But it's, if you're like, hey, what's something I can do to guarantee I never get better? I would say don't try to have sex. And then pairing with that, if you are having sex and you're either taking pills is masking the information that you need, or if you're having sex but you're not reflecting on it, you're not like trying to figure out what's going on and not trying to improve it, then you're also not making any progress. So there's like three things that are sort of related of like, if you don't put effort into like making it better, then for sure it'll stay the same. And so if you're in a situation where the things that you're doing are not improving the situation, you have to change what you're doing. I literally wasted so many years by doing the wrong things. And so if you do the right things, like realistically, it's going to take you probably, if you're working on it on your own, but you're really trying, and I mean really trying, not like I watch some videos on YouTube and I think about it sometimes, but like you're really trying, you're going into the bedroom and then you're trying to make it better. And then you're learning and reflecting, and you are learning on YouTube, or you're using like a course. Like I have a free course. If you're using material like that, realistically, 3 to 6 months is, maybe 9 months if it's really a really bad case. But like if you're consistently working on it, you're gonna get past it, even if you're doing a lot of the wrong things. Just because, exposing yourself to what's happening, to why it's happening, and instead of just being afraid, like paying attention so you can learn, is part of the healing process. So, and as far as like how fast is like reasonable, like when I work with one-on-one with guys, the program is 3 months long, and for the most part, most guys save the last 2-3 sessions just in case something comes up in the future, because most guys are mostly past it by about month 1, and month 2 we're oftentimes just working on confidence. So like if you're like, hey, I need this done like immediately, like, I'll put a link down below on how you can work with me. But if coaching is not something you're interested in, then I also have I have a free course on my website, which is linked down below, and I also do like group Q&A calls. So if you're interested in getting help that way, that's also on the table. So what's the fastest I've ever had a client heal? One session. So I've had a bunch of guys who have healed in one session, but I really do emphasize with guys that if you're looking for a lightning in a bottle solution, you're probably not going to get it. So there's something in common with a lot of the guys who come to me and then they never lose an erection again in one session. It's oftentimes because they've already done a lot of work. I'm not the first person that they've come to. And they oftentimes also, like, even though they don't lose an erection after the first time, the anxiety still takes a few months to go away. Usually by month 3, those guys are pretty much past it. But like during month 1 and 2, we're still really working on their confidence. And so I'll tell you a story about one of the guys, what got him past it. So he'd had ED for 6 years. It was between 6 and 7 years. I don't remember exactly. And the main issue that he was still dealing with was that, and keep in mind, this is a guy he'd been through AA. Like he used to have a drinking problem. He had a drinking problem. He quit smoking. He'd been in therapy for years. And by the time he got to me, he'd been working on it for like 4 years. And so the situation that he was in, he had basically, he had just started seeing a girl who was kind of aggressive sexually. And one of the things that he noticed is that he has a tendency to date women who are aggressive. We talked about this and some of the characteristics of the women that he dates. And so he oftentimes he's turned on by women who take the lead, but at the same time, it actually made him feel a little bit unsafe because he likes to control the pace that things go to. So a lot of times things were escalating faster than he was comfortable with. And so what I told him is like, hey, how fast, I was like, how quickly do you want this to be over? And he's like, I want this to be over yesterday. So I'm like, okay. The fastest way to do this is a very direct conversation. Are you okay with a direct conversation? He said, yes. Most guys want to sort of have gentle conversations over the course of a couple of weeks or months. But me personally, I'm a like, throw yourself in, let's just be honest kind of guy, but not everyone's comfortable with that. So he had a very direct conversation with her and he said, look, I love that you're aggressive sexually. I love that you take the lead, but it makes me nervous sometimes, especially because we don't know each other that well. I need to be in control sexually as far as like the escalation. So, you can do things to show me that you're ready to like take our pants off or like to move into penetration, but like I need to be the one that controls the space, the pace that things actually happen. And she was like, okay, sure, no big deal. And then so from that point on, he never lost another erection. And it's because at that point he felt safe because he was the one in control of that process. So sometimes there are things like that where like one change can fix it. But for most of you that are out there, what you're probably dealing with like 3 or 4 problems that are showing up as one problem. And so the reason that I often, if you're working on your own, like 3 to 6 months is reasonable, is because you're probably going to have to address each one of those problems individually, and you're not going to probably get it right on the first try. And so, but what I can say is like you have 2 paths in front of you. Path number 1 is you avoid this problem, and you know exactly what that's like. It's miserable. It doesn't feel good. It makes you feel insecure at work, makes you feel insecure in your relationship. You're worried your girl's going to cheat on you or break up with you. It kills your confidence. You don't feel like a man. And you can feel this way if you don't change something from what you're doing right now. You can feel this way for the rest of your life. That is a real thing. I've worked with guys who've had this problem for over 40 years. So if you don't want to be in that, the other path is that you do some things that are a little bit uncomfortable, and there's a high likelihood that if you do them, you get better. And because you have 2 uncomfortable paths in front of you, it's stupid to take the one where you avoid the problem. So, I'm trying to be more direct about this because I think a lot of guys are just too gentle on themselves. Like, it's stupid to avoid a problem that is like one of the bigger problems in your life that you can fix in 3 months. It's just dumb. If you're doing that, you're just hurting yourself, and you're hurting the people in your life because of the way that you're showing up in your life because of this problem. And, that bothers you. I get it, but like, I know you can fix it. And so I don't care if you're mad at me if it gets you to fix it. You know, you need to hear the truth. I don't want to be nice to you. I want to be kind to you. I want to tell you the truth. And the truth is that if you put your effort into fixing this problem, you will fix it. And if you continue to avoid it, you won't. So if you want additional help, there's a link down below on how you can work with me one-on-one. I also have a free course called Troubleshoot ED that will help you walk through this program or walk through the process of healing and give you insights in that. And then there's also, that comes with free group Q&As. So you can ask me questions and stuff like that. So if you want some help, that's another way to get help and make sure that you'll heal faster. But at the end of the day, whether you use any of my stuff, like, just do it. Just face it. Your life will be better. You'll be happier. Your relationships will be better. You'll get to enjoy sex. But like, the best part about fixing this problem it's not even about having great sex. It's like, you don't realize the emotional weight that you're carrying around your neck all the time and the amount of time that this is taking up in your life. And so when you fix this problem, like, your relationships become better. Your sex life becomes better. You get a lot of time back because you're not thinking about it. You're not obsessing about it anymore. And it just makes life more enjoyable. So put the effort in and fix it. You can do it.